seconds on the very next drive. It wasn't the next play, but the next drive, he did get back in the game. I think he had 3 or 4 carries in the game, nothing too impressive. And C.J. Anderson was great. He had almost 100 yards rushing. He had over 40 yards receiving, a couple touchdowns. It was a nice night. Before the game, something everybody's talking about and is making a big deal of is Brandon Marshall took a kneel. It's becoming more and more of a sign that the people in this country, the younger generation specifically, and I understand the conflict, I understand how other generations were raised to respect the flag and what that means to everybody. But the younger generation now sees it as a good way to show that they're not happy with the way things are working in this country. And it's not, you can't just tie other things into it because that's what it means to you. Listen to their message and stop trying to make it about what you think. Because the message that's going on, that's talking about the social injustice, has nothing to do with disrespecting the troops, has nothing to do with disrespecting the fallen, or disrespecting anybody else. It's talking about the disrespect that continues to underlie everything that happens in this country. From the media level to the political level, it's there. It has never gone away. And if you think it has, I feel bad for you. Open your eyes. There's nothing wrong with kneeling during the national anthem because you're protesting something that is commonplace in this country. We have high school kids doing it. We have women athletes, male athletes, black athletes, white athletes. And I will kneel too. If I'm ever at a game or in the position, I will do the same to show my support. Not for the athletes that are doing this, but for the cause. Because I'm not happy with the social injustice that happens all the time, every day. I'm not happy that there's people I know that think it's not a big deal, or that this is all being overblown. With that being said, Marshall ended up losing, money the very next day after that. Lost some sponsorship deals. So what? Take it. If you're scared that much, and you're now so appalled because somebody has a problem with the way people are treated, then who needs you? I won't use your product either. The missed field goal at the end of the game, that was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking for Carolina fans. Mile High Magic for Broncos fans. It was a great use of a timeout by Kubiak. Because the first kick, Gano hit, and it went off the upright as it went through. Timeout. And, he knew it was a timeout, but he followed through with his motion to not, get iced, basically. Let's just do the kick. And when it kind of grazed off that upright, that second one, he came through and wanted to correct it so it wasn't over there. Overcorrected a little too much. Missed field goal, Mile High Magic. It was a close game. It was just poorly played by both teams. Let's hope the games coming up tomorrow are a little better. We'll talk about those games here in a minute. But yeah, opening night for the NFL Thursday night, not as exciting, not as fulfilling as opening weekend for college football. It almost looked like the level of play wasn't even on par with what we saw in the college football games. And I think that has something to do with the way preseason works in the NFL. They need to address it or shorten it, do something about it. This next collective bargaining agreement is going to be huge. The players are being told somewhat, get ready, stack your paper, and be ready for a strike. And I hope they do. I really do. even though I'm such a fan of the game. And it would suck to see replacement players or just not have football. Their union needs to be in a stronger position. They need to have more say-so on what's going on in the game. They need to be like baseball's union and run their game. They're the ones that are playing it. They're the ones that are affected by the decisions. So, we'll see. We'll see. God. This story. The Yeezy Cleats, the Kanye West cleats that these NFL players are now starting to wear on their games. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures. Von Miller wore some Thursday night. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be wearing some this weekend as well. The ones Von Miller wore, they're the ugliest, stupidest looking cleats I've ever seen. They look like they had some like soft padding wraparound lace cover. They were an odd color white and like cream. High top cleats. Like, they just didn't look like a football cleat. They looked like some kind of stupid fashion. I don't know how to even describe it. Go look at the pictures. I would not wear these. I would not promote these just to be associated or have my name brought up or get the publicity for. They're ridiculous. Now, the ones DeAndre Hopkins is wearing, little better design, doesn't have all the extra stuff the ones Von Miller had with the lace covers and the high heel or the high ankle. But again, no, not interested. There's a lot of good cleat makers out there, and something tells me Yeezy brand is not one of them. So I'm not good with that. If you guys like it, to each their own. I'll go ahead and stick with Under Armour or Nike or Reebok or, somebody who's been making cleats for a good minute. All right, last night, Hall of Fame, Shaq, Yao Ming, Allen Iverson, all went into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Very cool night. So many stories being talked about this week from all points about all these guys. And I didn't really honestly appreciate Yao Ming, I don't think, when he was a player. I thought he was overhyped. But going back and looking at his footage as the week went by, he really was an impressive big man at 7'6". His little fadeaway, soft jumpers, and his ability to not really have to move because of his size and take over the paint was quite impressive. Seeing Shaq's stat lines was amazing. Some of the stuff he accomplished was really cool. And Iverson, of course, come on, what can you say about the guy? He even showed up late to the ceremony. Serena Williams, she lost her number one spot after she was upset at the U.S. Open. RG3 managed to get himself voted captain, and this is a guy who in Washington the teammates apparently didn't respect him. The Seattle Seahawks' entire team is planning on protesting in some way this week, minus Russell Wilson, who, he put out his piece about why he won't do that. The Olympic Committee and the NCAA and Olympic athletes are kind of at odds about what these college athletes should do with their Olympic bonuses. I say they get to keep them or put them in account until they're done with college. And the New York Mets, lucky Mets fans, the New York Mets has signed Tim Tebow to come be part of their developmental team. So there you go. Tim Tebow, not a team we had heard too much about interested in Tebow, but nonetheless, Tim Tebow is now a New York Met. All right, games coming up tomorrow in the NFL. Let's get to it. All right, we got Tampa Bay and Atlanta. That's going to be a strong divisional game. Look for that one Sunday. These are the early games now. These are the 1 o'clock Eastern games. Tampa Bay and Atlanta, Buffalo, Baltimore, Chicago, Houston, Green Bay and Jacksonville, San Diego, Kansas City in a division matchup, Oakland and New Orleans, Cincinnati and the Jets, Cleveland and Philadelphia, and Minnesota, Tennessee. Those are all the early games on Sunday. Now the afternoon games Sunday, you have Miami and Seattle, a division game with the Giants and Dallas, my Lions against the Colts, New England and Arizona will play Sunday night, and then we have the two Monday night games, Pittsburgh versus Washington and LA versus San Francisco. Let's hope that the Sunday games do a little better than the Thursday night game. We get a little more action, a little more, in-tune, focused football. I'm glad football's back. I really am. I'm going to be real with y'all, though, when it's not good football or when it is. We got a lot of good football today with college football, so check that out. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow night. We'll wrap up some of the games that happened tomorrow. We'll talk about the Sunday night game because it will be going on at the time of the show. I want to thank Chris Rupert from the Dirt Cannon for calling in today and laying all that knowledge on us. It got me hyped, ready to go and watch some of these games today. And I want to thank the Dirt Cannon for being the official fantasy partner of Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. I want to thank you guys, the listeners, for tuning in and spending your Saturday morning sports time with me. Check out the Facebook page, Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. On Twitter, Real Deal KVP. And go get the app. Go to the Google Play Store. Get the app. Carry this show around with you. Share it with people you know. Chat me through the app. I love to get conversations with my fans. And we're going to kick off the fantasy football this week as well. So until next time, everybody, you know how we do. Just be real.